Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today, Jane, I want to dive into a topic that I think resonates with just about everyone, because it touches on one of our most fundamental human reactions. What happens when life simply doesn't go our way? You know, those moments when you feel completely blindsided or utterly frustrated.
Oh, absolutely, John. It's almost a universal experience, isn't it? Just this morning, my internet went out right before a big client call, and my first instinct wasn't calm problem solving. It was a very loud, internal, "Are you kidding me right now?" followed by that familiar spiral of, "Why is this happening? Why now?" It's that immediate surge of annoyance or even despair, depending on the situation.
Exactly. That feeling where you might even throw your hands up and, in exasperation, start complaining, maybe even blaming external forces. You might find yourself questioning, why aren't the deities merciful? Or, what did I do to deserve this? It's a very natural human response to feel like the universe is somehow picking on you.
Yeah, and in that moment it feels so justified, doesn't it? You feel like you're the victim of circumstances and all you want is for things to just be easy, to go according to plan. The idea of embracing that moment feels almost impossible.
Well, this is precisely where the wisdom of cultivating the Tao offers such a powerful and transformative perspective. It invites us to look at these unfavorable or difficult situations not as random acts of misfortune or even as a sign of some divine lack of mercy. Instead, it posits a radical idea. Every single situation that arises is meant to temper your heart.
Temper your heart? That's a profound phrase, John. It brings to mind the image of a blacksmith working with metal, shaping it, strengthening it through fire and hammer. So, it's not about breaking us, but about strengthening us?
Precisely. Think about that blacksmith's process. The raw metal goes into the intense heat, it's hammered, cooled, then heated and hammered again. It's an incredibly strenuous and uncomfortable process for the metal, but without it, it wouldn't become a resilient tool, a sharp blade, or a durable structure. It would remain brittle, easily broken. Our hearts and our spirits are much the same.
I can definitely relate to feeling brittle sometimes when things aren't going my way. I mean, who wants to feel that discomfort? Our natural instinct is to avoid pain, right? So, how do you bridge that gap between the natural desire for comfort and this idea of welcoming the tempering?
That's the crucial step. The teaching advises that when things don't go your way, you should face them with gratitude. And I know, that sounds incredibly counterintuitive when you're in the middle of a frustrating or painful experience. It's probably the last thing you want to feel.
It really does. Gratitude when I've just spilled coffee on my laptop and missed a deadline? My brain immediately rebels against that. So, what's the logic behind cultivating gratitude in moments of adversity?
The logic is rooted in a deep trust in the universe, or heaven, as the Taoist traditions often refer to it. You're meant to be thankful that heaven values you so much. It's not an indifferent force. It sees your potential. It recognizes the inherent greatness within you and wants to refine you, to help you become the fullest expression of yourself. These challenges aren't roadblocks. They're the custom-tailored exercises designed specifically for your growth.
So, it's like a cosmic personal trainer putting you through a tough workout because it knows you can handle it and that you'll emerge stronger. That's a completely different way to frame a challenge than seeing it as a punishment.
Exactly. It's through these very challenges, these moments of intense pressure or unexpected difficulty, that you are molded and elevated. Without resistance, there's no strength. Without the heat, the metal remains soft. Without the challenge, our character, our patience, our resilience, our wisdom, they can't truly develop or shine.
That really puts a different spin on things. It changes the narrative from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What is this teaching me?" Or even, "Thank you for seeing my potential." It's like you're being seen as capable, rather than being unfairly burdened.
Precisely. And this isn't some New Age concept cooked up yesterday. If you look at the lives of sages and saints from ancient times, across virtually every culture and spiritual tradition, their stories are consistently full of trials and hardships. We revere figures like Buddha, Christ, or even historical philosophers, not because they had easy lives, but because of how they navigated immense suffering and adversity.
That's so true. When you read their biographies or sacred texts, the struggles are almost always central to their journey. It's never a smooth path to enlightenment or sainthood. It's always fraught with obstacles, temptations, and profound losses.
Indeed, it was only through such intense, often excruciating experiences that they truly earned their place on the altar, so to speak, worshipped and revered by others. Their challenges weren't merely incidental footnotes to their greatness. They were the very forge in which their wisdom, compassion, and inner strength were hammered out. They became legends because of what they endured, not in spite of it.
So, the very things that could have broken them were the things that ultimately elevated them. That's a powerful lesson right there. It flips the script entirely on what we perceive as good or bad experiences.
It truly does. It encourages us to see these moments not as interruptions to our happiness, but as integral components of our profound growth. The pain, the discomfort, the frustration, these are the raw materials for transformation. They are the friction that polishes the gem.
Okay, I'm tracking with the philosophy, John, but let's get practical. When you're in that moment of immediate distress, the internet's down, the car's broken, a difficult conversation is unfolding, how do you actually apply this? How do you pivot from that why me to genuine gratitude?
It's a practice, Jane, not an immediate switch. It often begins with awareness. The moment you feel that wave of complaint or blame rising, that's your cue. Acknowledge it. Don't suppress it. Say, okay, I'm feeling really frustrated right now. Then, consciously, almost like an internal mantra, remind yourself, this situation is here to temper my heart. There's a lesson, a growth opportunity here. Thank you for this chance to grow.
So, it's about catching yourself in the act of complaining and then deliberately redirecting your internal dialogue. It takes mindfulness, then a conscious choice.
Exactly. And it might feel awkward or even forced at first. You might not feel grateful, but you can choose to act as if you are, or at least choose the intention of gratitude. Over time, that intention can start to shift your genuine feeling. You're essentially training your mind to respond differently to adversity.
That makes sense. It's like exercising a muscle. The first few reps are hard, but with consistency, it gets easier and stronger. So, instead of thinking, this is ruining my day, you try to reframe it as, this is shaping my character, or this is an opportunity to practice patience.
Precisely. And the beautiful thing is that this reframe changes not only your internal state, but also how you approach the problem. When you're operating from a place of gratitude and growth, you're less likely to be paralyzed by anger or victimhood. You become more resourceful, more open to solutions, and more resilient in your actions.
I can definitely see that. When I'm in blame mode, my thinking tends to shut down. I just want the problem to disappear. But if I shift to growth mode, I'm more likely to calmly assess the situation, look for alternatives, or even ask for help without feeling ashamed.
Absolutely. It transforms you from a passive recipient of circumstances into an active participant in your own evolution. And this isn't about ignoring the pain or difficulty, mind you. It's about acknowledging it and then consciously choosing how you relate to it. The pain is real, but your relationship to it can be one of growth rather than resentment.
That's a really important distinction. It's not spiritual bypass, it's spiritual engagement. So, for example, if I'm facing a serious illness, I can still acknowledge the fear and pain, but also seek gratitude for the lessons in resilience or for the opportunity to deepen my connection with loved ones.
Exactly. It's about finding that core strength, that inner peace, even amidst external turmoil. It's about understanding that these challenging moments are often the most profound teachers we encounter. And the Tao tells us that those who face everything, truly everything, with gratitude are ultimately the most blessed.
The most blessed? That's quite a promise. So, it's not about having a life free of problems, but about having a life where problems are transformed into blessings.
Precisely. Because when you adopt this mindset, you unlock a kind of inner freedom. You're no longer at the mercy of external events, you're empowered by them. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to deepen your wisdom, strengthen your character, and refine your spirit. You're always growing, always learning, always becoming more complete.
That really shifts the definition of what it means to be blessed. It's not about material wealth or an easy existence, it's about an unwavering inner state, a profound resilience that comes from seeing purpose in everything.
Absolutely. It's about cultivating an alchemist's heart, one that can transmute the lead of adversity into the gold of wisdom and inner peace. It's about realizing that the universe isn't happening to you, but for you, constantly providing the perfect curriculum for your soul's evolution.
I really appreciate this perspective, John. It's so easy to get caught in the cycle of negativity and complaining, but this offers a tangible, albeit challenging path out of it. It requires discipline, but the reward seems immense.
It certainly does require consistent effort. It's not a one-and-done solution. We are constantly being presented with opportunities for tempering. But the more we practice this appreciative, growth-oriented response, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, that initial "why me" might even transform into a "what now" or "thank you for this lesson."
And I imagine that also changes your interactions with other people, too. If you're responding to your own difficulties with more grace, you're probably more empathetic and understanding when others are going through their own challenges.
Absolutely. It ripples outward. When you embody this kind of resilience and gratitude, you become a beacon for others. You demonstrate that it's possible to navigate life's storms with a sense of peace and purpose, rather than being swept away by them. It's a gift to yourself and to the world.
This is such powerful insight, John. It encourages us to reframe not just our individual hardships, but our entire outlook on life's unpredictable nature. Instead of fearing what might go wrong, we can view it as a continuous opportunity for profound personal and spiritual development.
Exactly. So, for anyone listening today who might be facing an undesirable situation, remember the teaching of the Tao. Every challenge is an invitation to refine your heart. Embrace it with gratitude, knowing that you are on a path of elevation and becoming truly blessed.
What a wonderful and empowering message to end on. Thank you, John, for illuminating this ancient wisdom in such a practical and inspiring way.
My pleasure, Jane, as always. And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us today. Until next time, keep cultivating that grateful heart.